Rainbow Chefs, my name is Chef Ava and welcome to 𝗍𝗵𝗽𝗀𝗀. Today we'll be making vegetarian tostadas, a very healthy recipe that's super easy and fun to do after school or whenever you get a little bit hungry. So first we're going to start off with our mise en place, which means everything in its place in French. So to make our vegetarian tostadas, we will use lettuce, sour cream, small tortillas, shredded cheese, 1 jalapeno, 2 garlic cloves, onion, cilantro, some fresh cherry tomatoes, and some pinto beans. So I'm going to grab the lettuce and we're going to cut it horizontally or long ways. Claw, and you're going to slice down simply like that. And there you go, you've chopped some lettuce. Now that we cut our lettuce, we are now going to move on to our jalapeno. And then your claw, you're going to cut again long ways or horizontally in strips. So you're going to press it down so it's on a flat surface, grip the knife, and in a wave motion, cut little strips. And you'll pick them up and put them in your dish. Next, we're going to mince some garlic. Chop the garlic into really small pieces. Try to keep them in one place. Once they're in small pieces, you'll just put them back in your dish. Next, we will have onions. We're going to slice down. And if you get bigger pieces, just take your time and cut them into smaller pieces. And you'll pick them up and put them in your bowl. Next, we're going to cut our cherry tomatoes. So you can take one by one, that way we're not overwhelmed with all of them. You're going to use your pinch grip, and you see how it goes long ways. You're going to cut it vertically in half. Be careful, use your claw. And then you're going to turn them face down, and you're going to do the exact same thing. Again, using your claw and your pinch grip, and then slice it in half. There you go. Then you put it in your bowl, of course. Next, we're going to work on our cilantro. So we're going to simply grab a bunch, and then similar to how we sliced our or minced our garlic, we are going to mince our cilantro. You could put your hand over the top, you can use your claw and pinch grip to just get them into really small pieces. Cilantro is actually a really good herb that really elevates your dish, so I would highly recommend it. We'll be adding this to our 𝗙𝗵𝗽𝗀𝗀 that we just made. And then we will also be adding this on the top of our tostadas at the very end. Next, we're going to work on our bean peeling for our tostadas. So here we have pinto beans. I got these straight from a can and drained them, but you could also use other beans, such as like red beans, kidney beans, anything that you have at home. Then we're going to combine some onions in this, as well as the garlic we minced. And with the fork, we're going to smash them so it becomes a paste. If you're a younger chef, you could leave it like this and simply move on to the plating of our tostadas. But because we have some older chefs, I'll be showing you how to saute this to elevate it even more. So we're going to go over to the frying pan. So now that we're at the stove, we're going to start off by adding our beans to our pan. We want to make sure you're really safe about this just because it is very dangerous and you could get burned. So you're going to pour this in. I already added some olive oil. You can, or you don't have to if you don't want to. So add it to the pan. This should be on a medium heat as well. And remember, while stirring, you always want to hold the handle of the pan, and with your other hand, you're going to, of course, mix. It already smells amazing. We're going to continue to saute this until either you like it or it becomes like a light brown color. We're almost done, Rainbow Chefs. Now we're up to plating. So first, we're going to get our mini tortillas, and then we're going to grab the bean mixture that we just warmed up on the stove, or if you didn't warm it up, then that's just fine. You're going to take about a spoonful, and then I like to spread mine. You could plop it on if you want. You can eat it however you want. So I like to spread it, And you can also put as much as you want on your tostadas as well. It smells so good. And then next we are going to add on some of our 𝗙𝗵𝗵𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 that we made, which is tomatoes, cilantro, onions, and jalapeños that we chopped up. Look at all of our knife skills. They look really, really good. If you don't like this too, you could skip out on it. I personally like it a lot. And then we are going to move over to sour cream. Then we are going to grab our lettuce that we shredded up. You can also make this dish really, really pretty. It's nice and colorful. And lastly, we're going to put some cheese and then garnish it with some lime juice as well. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to go like and subscribe to this video if you liked it, and try this recipe out. It's super duper fun. Hope to see you again soon.
Hi 𝗓𝗶𝗱𝗶 chefs, my name is Chef Ava and welcome to 𝗓𝗶𝗱𝗀𝘀𝐻 Academy. Today we'll be making salad nicoise. So without further ado, let's get started. Finished washing your hands, we're now going to begin preparing our mise en place, which is going to put everything in its place. So in front of me, I have red potatoes that were pre-boiled, blanched green beans, 2 tomatoes, a red onion, a shallot, a lemon, capers, tuna, hard-boiled eggs, olives, thyme, oregano, butter lettuce, Dijon mustard, and olive oil. And for our materials, I have a liquid measuring cup, tablespoon, a blender, tongs, our chef's knife, and our cutting board. So let's get cut our potatoes. So I'm going to grab a potato, place it right in the center of my cutting board, and grab my chef's knife. Pinch grip, claw, you're gonna slice through the potato, perfect, using wave-like motions and applying pressure. So keep doing that and I'll be right back. Now that I finished cutting all my potatoes, don't they look so great? I'm going to put them into my large mixing bowl. And then we're going to start making our vinaigrette. Before we start making the vinaigrette, we're going to prepare what goes in our vinaigrette. So in our vinaigrette, we're going to have lemon juice, oil, thyme, oregano, and shallot. So we have to go and prepare those before we start making the whole thing in general. So I'm going to go grab my shallot. So to start, we're going to then grab our chef's knife, wave-like motion. We're going to try and cut it in half. Please be careful of your fingers, being very careful in using your claw method to slice through. So we have our shallot in half. From there, we're going to peel it over the garbage can so that we get all the peels off, which we do not need. Here's that. So now that we have our shallot peeled, we're now going to thinly slice it. So slicing is just what we do with the potatoes, just slicing downward. So we're going to use our claw, pinch grip, and wave-like motions, again, to cut very thin slices of the shallot. Continue to do this for the rest of your shallot. And we're going to put it right in our blender. Come on, and put it in. Next, I just grabbed my thyme and oregano. Now we're going to begin picking the leaves off and putting them into our blender, so that way our vinaigrette is full of flavor. So I'm going to grab my blender, I'm going to open up these packages, I'm going to grab a stem of thyme, and see these little tiny leaves on it? I'm going to put those in, picking all the little leaves out, getting as much as you can, a good amount in there, so that way our vinaigrette has lots of flavor and the aroma is very strong and smells yummy. Now beautifully. Be careful not to add too much though. I understand that a lot of us want to put a lot because more flavor. But these can be very powerful herbs, so we don't want to put too much or else it'll overwhelm the whole flavor and we won't be able to use anything else except thyme. That should be enough of thyme. Close that up. And we're going to put, or do the same thing to the oregano. Now open up our package. We're gonna grab a spoon and just pick off the leaves. Throw them right in. Close up our herbs and set them aside. Next, we're gonna put our lemon juice in our blender. Next, we're gonna add in our Dijon mustard. We're gonna add in about a teaspoon of it. So I'm gonna grab my measuring spoon and pour in my Dijon mustard. Perfect. Give me a little, oops. Tap, 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 tap on the side. Awesome. And then, now I'm going to set that aside and grab my olive oil. I'm going to use my liquid measuring cup to give myself about 2/3 of a cup for making sure I get eye level. I can smell it right next to me. It smells so good. Perfect. Close that up, set it aside. And then I'm gonna pour the oil into my blender. And I'm going to use the top of my blender, twist it right on, grab it, and then turn it over. Going to press it down and blend. Now I'm going to put it over my blender, take off the top. I smell it, it smells amazing. I'm gonna grab my potatoes, going to drizzle in my vinaigrette, maybe about like half of it. Set it aside, put a little lid on. You're going to toss your potatoes that you sliced or cut, submerge in. It just looks so good, and we're now ready to move on. Next, I'm going to slice my tomato and red onion. So for our tomato, you're going to keep them in rounds since this salad keeps all of our ingredients pretty chunky. You're going to cut off the stem using our claw and pinch grip and the wave like bushes. Slicing through nice and easy. Bring off the stem, bring it away, slice into little circles. And now I'm going to cut my onion. So I'm going to cut my onion in half. Being very careful and making sure to use my pinch grip, my claw, and my wave like motions. Now I'm going to go peel it. Okay, I'm going to cut off the main stem. Then I'm going to cut it in slices. Now we're going to throw our tomatoes and onions into our potato bowl, so that everything is nice and chunky. Awesome. And then we're again going to grab our bowl, pour in a little bit more vinaigrette, still saving some, grabbing our tongs and giving that a little mix. Make sure everything's incorporated, everything is surrounded by that amazing vinaigrette. And now we're going to move on to plating our butter lettuce and then cutting our green beans. So here I have cut up green beans, and then we're going to grab these and throw them in our bowl. And now we're going to begin plating. So the really unique thing about this salad is that a lot of things are again very chunky and it's not really mixed in with each other. It's kind of laid on top, so you can put it as like a wrap. You can eat it with a fork, you can do anything with it, and it's totally up to you. So I have a nice little bed. Set this rest of it aside. I'm going to grab all of my ingredients. I'm going to add a little bit more of my vinaigrette because I did add those nice green beans. Saving a little bit, yeah. Giving a little mix before I add it to my butter lettuce. Scooping, so you can see it in. Amazing, looks so good. Making sure I get some tomatoes, I get some red onions, get potatoes, green beans, all of it. And again, making it almost super pretty so you don't want to eat it, but you know it's going to be super yummy. And you might have leftover, but that's completely okay. Go ahead and make another serving. I'm going to stick to one. Next, I'm going to grab my tuna. I got this from a can, which is totally fine, tastes amazing, but feel free to also use other things such as salmon. You could even put like ground chicken on here, whatever you really like. lot. I really like tuna. Next, I'm going to grab my capers. I'm going to open up the little jar that they come in. I'm going to grab a few. I'm not going to put too many, but I'm going to still want some in there to apply flavor. Next, I'm going to go ahead and grab my hard-boiled eggs. So I did not peel these, but what you do, you want to boil them for about 7 minutes, and then you'll get an egg just like this. You want to crack all the shells on the side. That way all the shells are cracked. You're going to go over to the garbage can and peel the egg. Going to give it a little rinse under some cold water. I'm going to leave that right there. Have a little butter knife. I'm going to just simply cut it in half, and then you see that beautiful yolk in the middle. You're going to just place 1/2 of your egg on top. Set the half aside for another serving, and then for the very last part, you're going to grab a little bit of your leftover vinaigrette. You're going to do a little drizzle over the top, and there you have it. And there you have it, and you saw it start. Thank you so much for joining me on this 𝗓𝗵𝗽𝗀𝗀 chef journey. If you like this recipe, go ahead and give it a big thumbs up, and go down below and subscribe to this channel for additional recipes that you can try at home. So don't forget to dig in and share this recipe with a bunch of friends. It was so much fun cooking with you today. See you next time. Bye. Rainbow Chefs, it's Chef Ava and welcome to Rainbow Chef Academy. Today we will be making a chicken apple salad. Throughout this recipe we will be learning how to chop, slice, and dice a bunch of ingredients as you can see. So without further ado, let's get started. We're just French for everything in its place. In front of me, we have chicken breast, pre-cooked, salt, a red onion, 2 lemons, a green apple, some mint leaves, celery stalks, parsley, sweet greens, olive oil, and for our materials, we have a chef's knife, a spatula, tongs, our cutting board, a medium-sized mixing bowl, a small whisk, 2 liquid measuring cups, and measuring spoons. Are you wondering where you can get all these super cool materials? Well, I have a tip for you. Now that we have all of our ingredients in front of us, it is now time to start preparing them. Like I said in the beginning, in this recipe, we're going to be working on our knife skills. So, let's get started. To start, we're going to start cutting our chicken. And when you slice, you want to make sure you go down with the tip and in a wave-like motion. So, like this, you're going to press down, holding your fingers in with your claw, pressing down, and using the wave motion. And you'll be left with strips like these. Keep going until you finish all your chicken. And once you're finished with your chicken that you just cubed and diced, you're now going to pick up all your chicken, like that. That's so amazing. I'm gonna put them in our medium-sized mixing bowl. Next, we're going to start by cutting our apple. Now that I've finished cutting my apple, I'm going to again grab my mixing bowl, and using the back of my knife, I'm going to scrape all my diced apples into my medium-sized mixing bowl. And then I'm going to set it aside. Next, I'm going to dice our onions. Pin scrape, claw, wave-like motion. From there, we're going to place it into our bowl. Super pretty, nice and colorful. Now that we've finished slivering our onions and we place them into our medium-sized mixing bowl, we're going to set them aside and start on our celery. These are celery stalks, and we are going to chop and slice these. So, to start, I'm going to place this in the middle of my board, and I'm almost going to crack it, so that way it stays flat on my cutting board. Crack. Perfect. So that way, even though it is broken now, we're going to be able to cut it nice and easily. I'm not the biggest fan of celery, so I'm not going to put this whole stalk in there, but if you are, you can put as much as you would like. The thing that I like about this recipe is that it is a salad and you are making it for yourself or family members. So if you don't like an ingredient, you can feel free to replace it with something else, or you can even not put as much of it in, or use as much as you want. You can add in, subtract, anything. So now that I finished cutting my little celery, I'm going to pick it up and sprinkle it into my mixing bowl. And then I'm going to put this excess celery aside. Next, I'm going to begin cutting my parsley and mint. For our parsley, 1 good amount of it, that way we get that strong herb flavor. What I like to do with my herbs is pick them off. It's the easiest way and it's also the more efficient way, instead of simply chopping them and getting all the stems in it, which we don't want. So, as you can see, parsley is similar to like a little flower, and we're going to pinch off all of its leaves so you can pull, and you'll be left with this little leaf. And continue to do that until you get as much parsley as you would like. You can go ahead and throw away the stems. Now that we have enough parsley, instead of putting it into our mixing bowl, we're actually going to put it into our liquid measuring cup. This will be a part of our dressing that we are making for ourselves. So simply pick them up and place them in the liquid measuring cup. As for our mint, so I'm only going to grab 1 leaf. And what I like to do is I roll up my mint leaf, and using my chef knife, I'm going to use my pinch grip. I'm going to hold it with my claw and do little thin slices. Now you're left with little slices of mint. Feel free to keep cutting so they're broken down into smaller pieces, and throw these in to your mixing bowl. So colorful. Now that we finished cutting our parsley and mint, and we added them either to our liquid measuring cup and our mixing bowl, we're gonna now start working on our dressing. So you're gonna grab your 2 lemons, and you're simply gonna cut them in half. Pinch grip, claw, and slice down. You can smell it, it smells so good and fresh and refreshing. Now I'm gonna do the other one the same way, using my claw, pinch grip, wave-like motion. We're gonna put these back on the tray for a second, and then we're gonna go ahead and throw this into our sink. We will no longer be using it. We're gonna be working with our liquid measuring cups instead. So I'm going to grab my parsley, which was in the liquid measuring cup, and I'm going to begin squeezing my lemon juice into the liquid measuring cup. So go ahead and begin to squeeze. Make sure to get all the juice out. Here's one, and feel free to use as much or the less of lemon juice that you would like. I'm going to use more because I like more dressing in my salad, but feel free to stop whenever you would like. Continue to do this with all your lemons. Now that I finished squeezing all my lemons into my liquid measuring cup, you can see that it's nice and full and the parsley is just marinating in that beautiful lemon juice. We're going to now put in a little bit of salt. So go ahead and sprinkle in a little bit. Don't put too much or it'll be really, really salty and it'll overpower everything in our beautiful salad. But go ahead and put a little bit, that way it gives it some flavor. Next, we're going to be adding olive oil. So in a separate measuring cup, you could pour in about 1/4 cup of olive oil. So you want to make sure that you're level with the measuring cup. I'm going to go ahead and pour till you see the 1/4 cup line. Now that we have both our olive oil and our lemon juice parsley mixture, we're going to grab our small whisk, and we're going to begin adding the olive oil very slowly while whisking really, really fast. I'm going to begin whisking, making circular motions in our dressing, and then I'll begin to strain in our olive oil. We finished our dressing. It looks so good and it smells amazing. So before we start preparing our salad, we're going to put everything else away, that way our board is nice and clean, and then I'll be right back. Now that we cleaned up all of our ingredients, we're now going to begin to combine our salad. So in the medium-sized mixing bowl, we have our onions, chicken, apples, and our celery, along with our mint. Into that, we're going to add our spring salad mix. So you go ahead and grab and place it inside the mixing bowl. And then using our tongs, we're going to give that a little toss. So you're going to grab and almost bring them up, making sure to combine all the ingredients. That way each bite you can get a different flavor. Oops. There you go, nice and mixed. Now we're going to combine our salad mix with our spring ingredients and our salad dressing. So feel free to drizzle as much as you want on top. I'm not going to use all of this because this is a lot of dressing for the amount that I made. But if you like to add a lot of dressing, feel free to use as much as you want. Drizzle in a good amount, getting some of that parsley in there. And then I'm going to mix again, similar to what we did to combine the ingredients. So tossing, making sure each piece gets a nice strong flavor of that dressing that we made. And there you have a chicken apple salad. I'm gonna go grab a cute little plating dish. I'll be right back. But if you don't want to do that, feel free and go ahead and dig in right now. I just grabbed my little dish. And now I'm gonna use my tongs to slightly scoop a bit of the salad onto my plate. So I'm gonna toss it one more time, making sure I get all those nice ingredients in each bite. I'm going to lift, look at that beautiful colors. Gonna place it right in the middle of the bowl. Salad is stuck on the tongs. Gonna lift again, making sure you get enough of that chicken and onion at the bottom. And there you have it, a beautiful chicken apple salad. It looks so good, and I really hope you like this recipe. Thank you so much for cooking with me today. And if you like this video, make sure to go down below and like and subscribe. Thank you so much again for joining me on this kitchen journey. Make sure to try out this recipe when you can, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye, my chefs.